Ooh, that's what I really loved. Because to me, I've never gone on a dating app because the whole concept of just like swiping through actual individual humans makes me just want to makes me hate myself. Like, I'm like, who the fuck am I to just be like, loser, 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 loser. It makes me feel awful versus if you're actually just like for real looking for that one connection. It's such a different mindset.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another exciting episode of First Rounds on Me. Today we have an absolute powerhouse in the studio, a force to be reckoned with in the worlds of modeling, social media, fitness, and entrepreneurship, the one and only Anna Herrin. We will explore everything from the highs and lows and the unforgettable moments of the modeling industry. We'll dig into her comfortability with nudity, handling online trolls, her love of fitness, and as a newly engaged woman, get her insights on all things love, marriage, dating, and relationships. Anna, welcome to the show.
I'm so happy to be here.
It is. Me and Anna are old friends. We have known each other for a decade. We're really aging
That would say how long we've been modeling. So
Oh
yeah, like only like 2 years. It's so weird.
Wait, how long have you been modeling?
12 years, I think.
Because I retired last year. It's
My God. Wow, retiring. I know. LOL. Okay.
It's so fucking funny to say at like 32 years old you retire. He actually threw me a retirement party.
Oh my God.
It was really adorable.
Okay, but so actually, if a client calls you and is like, all right, we've got $5,000, all you have to do is show up today and sell like 10 t-shirts, you're saying no.
See, that really does like catch in my throat a little bit because I'm like, it's really
Well,
hard
I think that you said if the job was guaranteed, you do it, but you don't want to go like be on roster or whatever. I don't know the correct terminology. Castings.
I like that.
But if someone called you and it was like a done deal, you would.
But that's
like,
why retiring from modeling is so hard because all of a sudden it's just like, hey, would you rather sit on your ass today or would you rather make $5,000? And you're like, I definitely want to make $5,000, but how do I like pursue my passions?
I told my old agency, I was like, listen, give me a year. Just don't contact me for a year. And I was like, maybe I'll get like renewed for it. I'll have like a renewed like sense of kind of urgency for it. But I just feel like I did it for 15 years.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm done, mate. I just need something different in my life.
That's how I feel. Just doing any career for that long, regardless of what it is, it could be the best job in the world, but doing anything for like 12, 15 years is just a long time.
You're still doing it, Anna?
I am. Yeah. I mean, like that's definitely how I make my money and stuff. And I just feel so lucky because I've had amazing clients that I feel like I've been working with now for almost 10 years, which is crazy and probably the reason I can't stop modeling. But short answer, yeah, I am still modeling. I think I did prom dresses recently. So going to prom, people. We're going to prom.
One of my last jobs was Scrubs, and I loved it so much. I was like, this is just so bizarre. Like a full face of fucking like heavy ass makeup and then Scrubs.
Of course.
Incredible.
Of course.
Wait, so let's take it back to the absolute inception of it. How old were you when you started modeling?
I started modeling like my freshman year of college. So like 18-ish, 19,
How'd you get scouted?
I think. I had taken like my first Molly at Ultra and I was just like having a good time. I was in college and this guy came up to me and he was like, you should be a model. And I was like, ew, you're creepy. Bah, 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 bah. And then I did take his business card and then I woke up in the morning and I was like, you know what? I'm dating a guy in Australia and I don't know like how I'm going to be affording to get my plane tickets and to go visit him. So I took that business card back up and 12 years later, we're selling prom dresses.
Same company? Like that same guy you're still associated with?
Yes, I'm still with the same agency.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
For all 12 years, really?
Yeah.
That is...
Path of least resistance, man.
That is
anomaly.
why I always say yes. Until there's a reason to say no.
Well, you say yes, except like the other 20 people that come up to you and say, do you want to be a model? Like want you to pay them like $30,000 and then like lock you in a basement. So like say yes a lot, but sometimes say no.
I guess say yes until you feel a reason to say no.
Exactly. Yes until you're locked in a basement, which, you know, it's just,
and I hope that
never
really
know.
happened to you.
I know.
Okay.
Well, I think we're getting there, right? Horror model stories. No, I'm kidding.
We're definitely going to open up to that. All right, do you remember your first big campaign?
I do. My first big campaign was, I don't know if it's as big now, but at the time it was like very cool. It was an Olay commercial. And it was when they were like doing these like goddesses in the jungle and they were like coming out of the forest, like little fairy nymphs, and they were super hydrated. So I went on it. I went on the casting and never thought I would get it, like all castings. And at the time I was in Miami, so I walked into the casting and it's like all gorgeous Brazilian women. And I'm just like, this is hilarious that I'm here. And then I somehow booked the job and I show up there. And I don't think that the actual client had ever heard me talk before because it was like a casting director and they just had me do like looks. And then I got there and they're like, hey. And I'm like, hey guys. And they're like, oh my God, she's not a Brazilian goddess. She's a random girl from Philadelphia. Like, what have we done to ourselves? And it was an experience. It was one where we have like a stand-in, you like in the trailer. So like for one of my first big campaigns, it was definitely a thing. I have no idea if it ever actually aired, but
really?
For me, it was really cool.
I'm definitely researching that after this
Yeah,
to see,
you
and
have
I'm
to
sending it
research
to
that.
you immediately.
And
I
Joey,
don't really like to see the stuff that I do. I like to go into modeling and just be like, well, that was a fun day. And then to like pretend that it just like disappeared into the ethers and it never happened.
that's what I do with the podcast. Like, this is so fun right now, and then
Yeah.
I'll never see it again.
Never.
And I don't want to. She's like, watch
Exactly.
the podcast. I'm like, no, I don't want to watch
That's
wanna think
exactly
about it
like, I'm
again.
good. I tried my best. I gave it my all and I don't want to see what that looks like.
But Joey, if you could find the Olay commercial, plug it in,
Slice it in right now.
please.
All right. So what was the craziest thing you've ever done on a shoot?
The craziest thing I've ever done on a shoot. There's so many like weird, crazy things you do on jobs. I mean, like some super weird ones are when you're just like straddling like a random guy. Like I've done denim commercials where it's just like, hey, there's this like random dude now have like the most chemistry you could ever imagine, which is just like a bizarre part of the job. But the actual like coolest things I've ever done is like I've gotten to swim with sharks, stingrays. I've gotten to go skiing in the Alps. I've gotten to jump off of like insane cliffs and travel to places. So that is definitely the coolest
Were you
part,
not-
like the adventure side of it.
Absolutely terrified swimming with sharks.
I wish I was more terrified. Like retrospectively, I'm like, why would I ever agree to do that? But in the moment, it was just like, I cannot believe that I'm in Bora Bora
Oh,
at the Four Seasons getting paid to swim with sharks. So
It's a
then you
model life.
just swim with sharks, man. You do not ask questions. You get in there with those sharks.
so true.
I
Yeah.
saw that. I did a little. So I never really do research, but now I'm like, you know what? Hannah does so much work for the podcast. Let me help a little bit. So I did do some research on you, and I saw that there's this picture that kept popping up. You on the back of a moped for like Serbia, and you were like, there was this campaign on Serbia, and like that picture just kept popping up the most.
Wait, I'm cracking up that it's coming up as Serbia because that was
it not
totally
Serbia?
no, it's Malfi, and I'm just loving that that's now using as like marketing for Serbia. Perfect.
Yeah,
Let's
it was
go.
just you on a moped, and it was like, come to Serbia, come to Serbia.
Serbia.
All right, well, awesome, Serbia. Get it. I hope I get some like residuals for that, like the Serbia consulate. Like, call
We'll look
me.
into that.
Let's get some usage.
But wait, now going back to you straddling other men on these jobs, I'm always fascinated with that. Is there ever real chemistry, or do you do everything you can to block it out?
For me, which I feel like this is where I don't want to say anything that I regret, but it's just for me, it's a male model is just so not my type that it's just. For me, it's so work, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get on your lap. Are you ready for it? Okay, 1, 2, 3, I'm gonna get on your lap. Like, it's just, I feel so in control of the situation, and a lot of the times it's honestly more the guy that's like pretty overwhelmed, and they're newer, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know. It's just like, let's make this as quick, as painless as we can. That's my best angle. I'm gonna get on top of you. So I guess, no, there's zero chemistry. I'm just like, aggressively trying to get home and change into sweatpants.
That checks out.
I always akin this, and I always did back in the days of modeling, where it was like, it's like standing still acting. Like when you go into that thing, they're like, okay, so this is your role. You have to play someone who's really attracted to this person. You go, okay, so for the next 15, 20 minutes, however long, I'm going to be very like feign attractiveness to you. Same shit when you're really wearing really, really ugly clothes and you're like, I am the hottest bitch in the room.
Exactly.
You have to bring on a persona, and as you said, as soon as you leave, you're like, all right, sweet, back to myself.
I always say that with modeling. People are always like, you should get into acting. And I'm like, I am acting like a model every single day. Like, I'm just fully pretending. Like, you put me in a wedding dress, I'm fully pretending, oh, there's my husband over there. Oh my gosh, who caught the flowers? I am pretending. Like, I am acting my hardest, and it's just not good enough to actually act. But
That's such a good net, because you make up scenarios in your brain
the whole time.
just to be able to get through it and to like fully sell what's happening.
Oh yeah, if I have like a little body contrast, I'm like, I'm walking into the club. It's Miami. It's 2009. I'm hot.
It's incredible. All right, so first model you ever looked up to or admired?
I had such a girl crush on Alessandra Ambrosio at the time. Like when I started, that was like peak Victoria's Secret. And I just thought she was so cool. And she was with my agency at the time when I was 18. And since she's Alessandra and I'm Anna, our faces were like really close to each other. And little college student me just being able to be like, in some world, I'm on a website where my face is even just like close to Alessandra Ambrosio. Like it was so confusing that was even like
Did you
a
get to meet her?
possibility. I haven't actually met her, no. No, she's around LA, so Alessandra, if you're listening. Actually, never mind.
No. I saw a picture of her the other day, and she's like, what is she in? She's like, she used to be in like early 40s.
She's gorgeous.
Stunning.
So
playing
beautiful.
beach volleyball, and I was like,
Oh, her body is actually insane.
What the
I was gonna say, like, I know a bunch of like LA models that know her, so I see her on my friends' feeds all the time, like very candidly, and I'm just like, you're just the real deal.
You're a
Like, you're
goddess.
so fucking hot and you're so tight.
Because she was a Victoria's Secret model, right?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Back
Yeah,
in
so
the,
like any 18-year-old kid knows just the Victoria's Secret model.
Oh yeah, that runway was
obviously I
like
knew
the
her.
Super Bowl.
She was like the angel, and it was back in the heyday of Victoria's
Yeah.
Secret, where it was just like the absolute pinnacle.
Who was the other one that was just as big as it was?
Giselle.
Adriana Lima.
Yes,
It was Adriana Lima
I
and
was an
Alessandra
Adriana Lima
Ambrosio were like,
fan.
I mean, but that to me was like, not that Alessandra Ambrosio is attainable hot.
No, you're right. Adriana Lima was
Adriana
like,
Lima was
what is
just
that?
like the lips, like she was just almost like an animal, like
Yeah.
just so hot. And Alessandra Ambrosio, in some crazy world, felt like she could just be like your really hot friend. Obviously not, but like I think that was the appeal. It was just like,
100%.
oh, if
Yeah.
I just like put on a little bit of makeup, I would totally look like
I can get to that level.
totally.
All right, so what is something unconventional most people wouldn't know about the modeling world?
I think something that always interests me about modeling world is that it's so data driven right now that is so fascinating to me. So it's like if a client books you or rebooks you, it's not because they necessarily loved you or thinks that you're the prettiest or the hottest. It's literally because you sold the most dresses or their mouse spent the most amount of time on your face on that website, which for me honestly kind of helps with clients and stuff and not getting rebooked or getting rebooked. It has nothing to do with me really or even the client. It's like all the consumer and their spending and their habits. And I think that's just something so fascinating that I wouldn't naturally know about the modeling world. Like just because a girl is the most beautiful girl in the world, actually circling back to Adriana Lima and stuff, it's sometimes like if you can't relate to that, you might not get booked for that. So it's just really interesting. And I think that was something that I never would have thought about, but now I can ask all my clients. It's like, what do I look the best in? And they're like, well, you sell the most of these dresses and of these little shorts and this color top. And I'm like, awesome. That's what I'll be wearing because apparently that's what I look the best in. But they literally have like stats on that, which is
The analytics behind it.
wild.
That's crazy.
The analytics. Sorry.
Analytics.
Oh, I'm
That's crazy.
sorry.
That
I'm sorry.
analytics
Cut that.
even goes into modeling.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Everything.
yeah, like obviously an app analytics makes a lot of sense for
Right.
us, but from a modeling standpoint, that
Yeah.
they don't really even care about your personality or your energy. It's just how many clicks.
No, like at the end of the day, if it's between you and another girl and you're both getting, 40 clicks, let's call it. I don't know what the numbers are, but it definitely helps to like not be a piece of shit on set. I always say that to girls. It's just like at the end of the day, you're never going to be the hottest girl in LA. So at least try to be like the nicest, the most helpful, the least shitty. Don't be texting on your phone. Like don't be an idiot. So
It's
yes
a great
and no.
mindset. I don't know if you have this question, but it seems like you have a good family background. You're very level-headed. Is that true or no?
Yeah, I really do.
Okay.
I'm like
Yeah.
level-headed. I don't know. Really great
No,
family. Definitely.
You seem like you were brought up to think a certain way that is nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, thank you. I try to think nice.
She's playing. She's acting. No,
Yeah, maybe.
Exactly. I'm acting like a girl with a nice family. No, isn't it?
No, but to your point, like I think that the reason why you had a 12-year career, the reason like you having a 12-year career, the reason why I had a 15-year career is because of the way that you approach on set. We were just talking about it before we started rolling. Of like you get onto set, you use the restroom, you make sure you have everything in your model bag to be able to go. Like you're prepared so that the client is helped. And there are a lot of models in this industry, especially I will say in a place like Los Angeles, where they're just kind of bitchy or they're just kind of very unhelpful in the entire process. Like the amount of times that I was like doing e-commerce and then just be sitting on their phone and I would be getting like 150 outfits done a day, sure you're the same, and they're getting like 30 or 40. And it is, like you said, if it is between two models who, like, the analytics are kind of the same, they're always going to choose the person that's more pleasant.
For
to be
sure.
on
I mean,
set.
just think about an investment point of view. Like if you're investing the same amount of money, if you're investing the same amount of money in two girls and one girl's shooting 100 outfits and another girl's shooting 20 outfits, you would be so dumb to go with the slightly hotter girl that's only shooting 20 outfits.
Oh yeah, well,
Right.
we work with influencers a lot, and
Yeah.
when we first started doing it, we would just find who had the biggest following and like who was the best looking.
Right.
And that was a complete fail because
Crazy.
their followers didn't care about what they were saying; they just cared about how they looked.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, okay, how do we find relatable people that could send our message out, get clicks, but like represent us?
But
And
who are also
Yeah.
pleasant to work with as well.
Yeah,
They're, like,
for sure.
nice and engaging.
could
and,
do
like,
the deliverables, could do what we want,
Exactly.
make it better.
Exactly.
I always say that too. It's at the end of the day, and that's how I think showing up to any job, it's just at the end of the day, people are trying to just have a good day at work. Like a lot of these studios, it's just they're there day in, day out. So if you can make somebody's day more enjoyable, and that's how I run my business, it's like I want to work with people that are actually enjoyable to work with. And of course, they need to have the skill set, but almost on the same page, they have to be somebody that I actually enjoy spending time with. And so I always just remember that when I'm on set. So if I'm there on my phone and bitching about my boyfriend the whole time, I'm annoying. I don't want to hang out with that girl on a regular day, let alone at work, which already sucks. So
I
sure.
wholeheartedly agree. All right, I want to step into social media because you have a really big following, but also I feel like a lot of your content is incredibly genuine. So, as I wrote down here, I feel like you've done such a good job at embracing being active on social media and creating genuine content with being a legitimate professional model, which I think that crossover sometimes is hard. You're either like an Instagram model or you're a professional model. There's no like real bridge. What's your take on Instagram models? Do you think that they're like diluting the industry, or are you like the more the merrier type?
it's such a like, I thought about this one. It's tough. I think that it was so easy for me to come and like judge influencers while modeling and just being like, oh, well, if I ever stop modeling, it would just be so easy to become an influencer. And they're not doing anything anyway. All they do are like taking pictures of like their food and their matcha. And what I'm doing is real work. And those girls are working hard. And so I kind of compare like influencers or like the Instagram models to like the Kardashians. You want to hate them. You can talk as much shit as you want, but they're kind of the ones at home laughing at you. They're working their ass off. They're making it look like they don't work. They're making it look easy, but that's part of the job. And so I think I initially had judgment, and now I'm like kind of seeing it from the other side, and I'm just friends with a lot more people in that world, and I am swallowing my words.
I love that. Well, again, we see that working with influencers, when we try and cut clips and to make UGC, how hard it is to get the captions right, the design right, the flow right, how much effort goes into it. But then also like they set the trend that we're following. We're like, okay, so-and-so influencers doing their caption this way with this font, and that's why it's getting views. We have to follow that. Mm-hmm. So it's like they are putting some type of time and effort to set trends that people are following through the analytics.
Also, it's
100%.
so fucking difficult to sit in front of an iPhone and be like, "Hi guys," like.
She's so embarrassed at home. I'm like, "What are you
hate it.
doing?" She's like, "Oh, nothing." I'm like, "No, you were talking to your phone." She's like, "I was making a UGC."
Oh,
Like,
I can't even talk to my phone if Brad's in the house. He has to leave the house. Like if I know there's somebody else in the house, I can't be recording videos, and it's just too mortifying. I just want to cry.
And so I really like, to your point, I admire that like it's not. There's like no self-shame. You're just like, fuck it, this is what I do for a living. But I also think, to your point, I think a lot of people would perhaps look at from outside of the modeling industry and think that models are the same, that we don't fucking do anything. My brother still to this day thinks that I sit in front of a camera and smile.
I know. It's so, I was saying that another thing I was thinking for something people don't know about modeling is I just think the whole e-com world is something people do not understand.
Right.
Like I've seen people comment before like about this one company I shoot for, Lulu's, and be like, is anyone checking in on this girl? Is she okay? She's tried on so many dresses. And another person was like, oh my God, don't be an idiot. She's not actually trying on all the dresses. They're just like color correcting and scanning her body. And I was just like, no. I am trying on every single one of those dresses. And it might sound easy, but Have you ever changed 150 times while keeping your bun perfect and being extremely nice to every single person on set, never knowing if you'll get rebooked or be able to like pay your rent again? And also find your perfect angle. You get 3 shots, front, side, back, and it's going to be online forever.
Also, the repetitive nature,
It's challenging.
the monotonous nature of that.
And keeping up the energy, because if you're dead in the eyes, you're dead in the eyes.
can tell.
I am just oozing like, my life's great, joy,
Everything's
positive,
fine.
energy.
And you almost
Yay.
get into a dance of doing it. Like you just
Oh,
have
the
these like
entire
certain
time.
poses, like it's muscle memory where you just go boof, boof, boof.
I have a question though about no shame.
I
Again,
have so much shame.
me doing my research. Whose bachelorette party was it, and who planned that like cockfest thing you guys did? That was so funny.
Oh my gosh, my friend Holly Owens, she's amazing. She's like one of the most put together, so smart, but also so silly, but just amazing. And it was her bachelorette party,
Okay.
and her best friend Lucy helped her put together the party, and we all had bald caps on, and we had hot
saw that. It was
dogs
fucking hilarious.
tied around our waist, and we originally had games set up, but it was just so much fun, just like thrusting, which like you guys have so much fun with your dicks. Let me just tell you, it's just like you can just flop them. I mean,
Well,
assuming
what
you're
happened? The
able
other-
to flop them. I
The other
hope
day
for
she
you.
was making fun of me, and her mom was on the phone, and her mom was like, "Well, if you had one, you'd probably do the same stuff too." And I
For
was
sure.
like,
Because it's just that it's when he's watching sports, the hand down the pants, just holding it.
Oh,
I'm like, are
for
you
sure.
protecting it? Like
We
what's
could
going
not
on?
stay still.
Never.
We gave us it all. We were just all like dancing, thrusting. It was just
was
so
so funny.
fun.
It was
Just
so
an
funny.
extension of self, you know?
I really sometimes like. I don't wish I had a penis, but I would like it for one day.
I agree.
Just to
I would
play.
like to try it for one day, but I never want to be a boy. I love being a girl.
Me too. I adore it.
Ew, boys.
All right, so you are so beautifully open with your body, from skiing down the mountain in nothing but a bikini, laying in bed covered in sushi, which is one of my favorite photos of you ever, basking in the sun with fruits and vegetables, and most recently wearing nothing but a Santa hat, heels, and a red bow thong in front of your fiance's Ferrari. Am I correct?
Oh my God, that's my fiance's Ferrari.
fiance's Ferrari.
Wow. That'd be correct. Yep, that's me. Yes.
Fucking tea. In a sentence, that is Anna Herrin. I know from personal experience that modeling helps a great deal in being comfortable naked, but have you always been so comfortable in your skin, or is it something that you had to still, to this day, kind of consistently work on?
Definitely like the nudity side. I've just always been a naked girl. My mom always jokes. Like one of my very first friends came from a much more just like put together type A household. I think she came over one time and she was like, "Why does Anna never have her clothes on?" And I don't know. I just am not into it. Like the first thing I do when I get home is change into a robe because I don't like anything touching me, which is probably, well, no, I was naked before, so I can't even blame it on modeling.
But still exacerbated by the countless amounts of clothing that you have to put
Well,
on your body
exactly.
every day.
Now it's just like if I don't have to be in something tight, this is me dressing up for today. I put on my going out sweatpants.
Love it.
I love it. Okay, so I'm sure you get a lot of backlash from trolls on the internet, because everybody does, from posting things like that, which in my opinion is ridiculous and says more about them than it will ever about you. But how do you handle the criticism? Do you just ignore it, or do you fight back?
Sometimes if I have something a little bit just like zingery to say, I'll do it just for myself because it's fun. It's not like I'm like fighting back, but if I can get in a little line there, I will sometimes, just for fun. I'm just like, you know what? If you want to have the balls to come on here and just like spew nonsense and be like referencing Wikipedia and spelling everything incorrectly, like I'm going to have a little bit of fun with it. Like I'm just going to have a little bit of fun.
No, as you should. Well, I actually saw recently you replying to one comment of this woman saying, and I'm paraphrasing here, but by posting the things that you do in the way that you do, you could never attract quality men. And that the way that you portray yourself, i.e. like sexy and cheeky, is giving all women a bad name, devaluing us on some level. Which I was reading that, I was like, you fucking bitch.
Well, first of all, I'm just so sorry to all women.
How dare you?
All women. I'm just so awful. How dare I have fun with I was going to say wife, my fiance. How dare I? Honestly, I just feel so lucky that I'm not in that body brain situation. I'm just like, I'm having so much fun living life the way that I want to, and kind of joke, it's like the dude says, it's like, and that's just like your opinion, man. Like I just don't, it would be ridiculous if we all had the same opinion, and I don't agree with it. I think that's a dumb opinion, but again, she thinks that I have a dumb opinion. So it's just like, it doesn't really matter. I just don't really, there's also just so few people's opinions that I actually care about, because
Yeah,
It's
that's a
like,
great mindset.
There's just so few people that I'm going to let
I feel
into my life.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
it's such a obvious play of insecurity on their part. You know what I mean? Like, they're not comfortable within their own skin, so they're going to hate on somebody else for being able to do it. And like, since when did a woman standing in a Santa hat and a red bow thong in front of her fiancé's Ferrari ever be such a bad thing? You know what I mean? Like, it's such a beautiful thing. If you had a Ferrari, I would definitely do it.
It's jealousy, for sure.
It has to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. It's like, because you definitely go to like, you know, I've gone to other pages where I'm like, oh my God, this is so overly sexual. But it's also like, that's just not my thing. And it doesn't have to be for everybody. It's like, so many people are like, you need to be appealing to more women and da 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 da. And I'm also just not going to fake it. I'm not going to kind of tone down myself and my personality to become appealing. I'd rather like find the people that are into what I'm doing already.
The people who unfollow you, it's like, you don't care if they follow you anyway.
That's
the people
kind
who
of
do
how
follow
I
you,
feel. I'm like so excited to actually be like sharing more that is really who I am. And if that means like a smaller following or less people, like I'm totally cool with that, because it's just like, then it's actually a community of people that we're on the same page,
and
which is really cool.
You're giving off a fun messaging, so it's like you're creating a fun community that is happy and optimistic.
And luckily, like I really don't get that many bad trolls. A lot of the times, it's like pretty positive people, which is really awesome.
As well.
Which I'm just like, I feel so lucky that that's this community. And if every now and then it's like a random lady who doesn't want to wear a little skirt, that's totally cool. Like, you, girlfriend.
When I'm looking at things like that, I'm like, fuck yeah, Anna. And it like gives you more power. It's seeing somebody so comfortable with their own body and embracing what they're doing and how they're doing it in such a, it's not like a showy off way either. It's more just like, this is who I am and this is what I'm showing.
I think it's so how you interpret it in that way too, because people always ask with modeling, it's like, how does modeling affect your confidence? And I've gone one way where I'm just like, I cannot believe I'm even in the room with these people. So it's actually in a way like boosted my confidence and gave me an ego I didn't even have before, because I like never even thought about modeling. And I was just like, you guys won't fucking believe it. Like I was at a casting with that girl. Like I didn't book it, but like somebody thought that I could stand next to her and like hold my own, which is insane, versus getting into a room and being like, oh my God, like that girl has better lips than me. That girl has a better butt than me. That girl da-da-da. Because people are going to have better anything, you know, at any given point. But I'm just like, oh, somebody thought I could be in here? This is crazy.
Sounds like you really...
None of that's true, but I would say it's really cool that you're like humbly, self-deprecatingly confident. Like,
wow, that's a beautiful way of putting it.
No, it is, because like I always tell people, I'm like, the more that you're authentic and like embrace who you are and you're confident in who you are, it doesn't matter what you look like, you become so cool and attractive, because you're like, this is me. And I love myself, and it's like, damn, you have some confidence.
It's not feeding into the comparison culture that I think a lot of people feed into, especially within social media. So that's why I think you're a bit of an anomaly when it comes to the social media and the modeling realm, where it's just wrought with so much insecurity, where you're just like, fuck it, this is who I am. I'm living my life. Don't compare yourself to me, but I won't compare myself to anybody else.
Yeah, it's like an interesting, and I mean, there's places where I can definitely level up. Like I see I'm like, okay, that's something that I can improve on, or that's something, but I kind of use it as just not a jealousy thing, but rather a way of like, okay, how can I bring that into my life?
Inspiration.
Yes, inspiration. Not jealousy, it's inspiration.
All right, before we close out this social section, I would be very amiss if I didn't bring this up, but when doing research with you, I realized that you were a part of Fyre Festival.
Yes.
Which was such a social shit show for the
it was such a shit show.
Wait, so I have to ask, what was your experience like, and was it as fucking wild and shit showy as like kind of social media and the articles portrayed?
So yeah, like short answer, it was honestly the documentaries, I feel like maybe there was a lawsuit issue or something. They made it look better than it actually was. It was really, really bad. And I went into it knowing that it was going to be really bad. So I was kind of prepared for it. I brought my little sister. We were just down. I expected to be like camping on the beach. Like I really didn't go into it thinking that it was so ridiculous. I was like, yachts on the beach with sushi and Blink-182. It was just like, this is obviously not happening. Anyone who thinks this is happening, like you're dumb. So like, I'm sorry.
So they reached out to you to be like a model for this party?
Yeah. So it was like through my agency. And again, the whole thing was so ridiculous. It was like, private flights for you and 18+1s and your own mansion. And I was just like, that's not happening. That's the dumbest thing. But I love to be at the beach. So even if it's just a concert at the beach with my sister, that's awesome. I definitely did not expect to be on like a private jet with my 18+1s, but whatever. It was definitely not camping on the beach. It was so crazy. I mean, it was really, I felt bad for bringing my sister. We ended up having a really great time, but the like when you first got there was just wasted young girls. Their flights had got in at like 6 a.m. All they'd been given was a full bottle of tequila. They were so fucked up. All of the bathrooms weren't working. So it was just as far as the eye could see, just girls peeing on the beach. And then I overheard these. So when my sister and I arrived, mind you, this is like what we're walking up to. It's just like, oh, holy shit. Just like zombie wasted girls peeing on themselves. Jesus. And we're just like, and this is at like 9 a.m. when we were just, they were like, they took our bags. They're like, we're just gonna like take your bags and then we're gonna have them meet you at the villa. So at this point, they're still pretending there's like these villas and are taking our bags. I was like, again, I know that there's no villas. This is ridiculous. Like, why are you still saying villas? This is insane. Like,
I love how they're keeping up the fast even up until that point.
They kept it up until they still kept flying people in. Like, just stop it. That's like, I don't know. My main takeaway was just, how did this get so far along? Because there was so many times to call it, and like it would have been fine. Just do it next year. I don't really.
That's what the documentary said. Though, it's like, mate, every single person around. I can't remember what his name was. Billy McFarlane. Or something
oh my god.
They're just like, stop. Just wait. Do it next year. Do it the year after. Like, stop bringing people in.
It's really.
And then beautiful humans like you were just being fucking shipped in by the troves.
And they just didn't stop. They didn't stop until I think it was like the country literally had to stop flights from coming in. It's not like they were like, all right, this is getting a little bit messed up. There's drunk girls peeing on themselves. They were just like, all right, we've literally been barred internationally from flying people in, so I guess we'll call it. And then we realized it wasn't happening. We still are like, oh, maybe it's happening. We realized it's not happening when Blink-182 sent a tweet and was like, we're concerned for our safety, so we won't be coming. And I was like, oh, fuck. Blink-182 is like concerned for their safety. So that's a whole podcast in itself, but yeah, it was like
they got a nice documentary out of it.
It was really
as well.
Yeah,
it was cool. Actually, if you pause the documentary for a really quick moment, you'll see just a headshot of my Instagram popping up as one of the evil women that coerced people into spending all of their money and going to Fyre Festival. So yeah,
someone to blame. The beautiful women, of course.
I mean, it was like, so what I was circling back to that, I saw all these drunk 18-year-olds like peeing on themselves, and I overheard one girl being like, oh my God, I told all my friends to like not pay rent for 2 months to come to this. I like told everybody to come. And so that was the part that I was just like, fuck. Like, there really were people that like spent so much money, given you shouldn't have done that. And it's a really awful learning lesson at 18, but I do assume those girls are going to do like a little bit more research before not paying rent and spending like $15K, you would hope. Like, please, guys.
Learning lesson, hopefully.
It's a tough one. It's a tough learning lesson, but we all have them. But yeah.
I had to ask you about it. I'm sorry. I like saw it and I was like, do it? I was like, no, I have to.
Yeah.
All right, it's completely switching gears. I'm going to talk about EMS. And working out in general, but
I'm gonna put this on for a second. It's getting chilly. Sorry. EMS and working out.
EMS and working out. So you started your first company, EMS, with your good friend. How do you say your last name?
Nicole Pelletier.
Thank you very much. Can you explain to our listeners what EMS is, your motivation behind starting it, and why you find it so beneficial?
All things EMS. So. Cut me off if I like go on a tangent, because I feel like when I start talking about EMS, I kind of start sounding like a crazy person. But
so is EMS a thing, or you came up with EMS, like the actual EMS?
No, so EMS stands for electromuscular stimulation, and so the concept has been around forever. Most people that have done physical therapy have used like a TENS machine before, and that's that same concept of it's contracting your muscle and bypassing your brain. So it's like mimicking what your brain would do and having the muscle contract. And so it's the same thing as a TENS machine, except it's all over your body and at a way higher hertz. So a lot of people will compare it to like a plate fit or like a vibration machine. And it's just so not that. It's like actually flexing your muscle. Like if you're standing there and you have the abs up really high, it'll make you like it'll make you do a crunch. So you have no choice but to work out. So that's what EMS actually is. And then I ended up in this. I definitely did not expect to be a EMS training company founder. Like that is not what I set out to do in my life at all whatsoever. My business partner and I still laugh. We're just like, how did we get here? But it kind of, my business partner and I, Nicole, we had a lot of free time. Like we were both happy with our jobs, but had some free time and we're kind of just wasting it and like getting stoned a lot and just wasting time. And we were like, you know what? We're both like pretty capable people. Let's try to do something different than just smoking. When we first started doing things, we called our bong our creative director. So like
That's awesome.
And we went down like a bunch of different things. We were exploring clothing. We were exploring this kind of crafting event world. And all throughout that, we were just, trying things. And she's always been my workout buddy. And I found this EMS trainer from a random Chrissy Teigen interview that my friend sent me, whole thing. And I did it. And I was like, this is fucking insane. Like my ass was the sorest it's ever been. And then over time it was like working. And I was like, wait. Like I've done every single workout forever.
For you to say that?
Exactly. I was like, I've done every single workout forever and this is actually working. And then I've worked in the Venus industry forever with people that'll do anything. Like girls are taking like 40,000 laxatives a night before bikini jobs. And I was just like, wait a minute. I found something that like actually works. And the people that should be doing it have no idea that it even exists.
So how did people not know about it? And like,
just,
even when we did that, like I didn't know what it was. And I'm not
I learned
well
about it through
versed
Anna.
in fitness as you are, but I've done all the classes.
So it's just gotten FDA approved in the US in the last, I think it's now coming up on 3 years. So it was really new in the US when we tried it, but it's been around in Europe for like 10 years. So I think it's just that it's coming here. And as we know, like the US is just a marketing machine. So even in the last year, when I talk about EMS, people have such a different response than they did when we first started it. Most people now have at least been like, oh, is that suit that people get in? So they've seen it, which is a totally different thing than even a year ago. So it's been around. I just don't think, since it's not like cool, the suit's not cool, you do not look hot, it's not fun.
You look hot, but
No one looks
does look
hot.
cool.
It's really just not. So I think, and a lot of people think of it as like an ab belt or they think of like an infomercial from the 2000s or something. So I think there's resistance to trying something new and there isn't good marketing right now. And so I think just between those two, it just hasn't quite gotten
But you're
there.
ahead of the curve.
It's
And
been
I saw
nice.
Tom Holland talk about it.
Yeah. Spider-Man's been doing it. Yeah,
Spider-Man's doing it, man. He's strong.
He is a strong
Easy
guy.
over there.
Strong guy.
Easy over there.
I'm just saying he's strong. I didn't say he was attractive. Two different things.
He's
They're not
strong.
synonyms.
She totally wants to bang him.
Totally wanna bang him.
Totally.
You're right.
God, I see right through that.
Done. I love me a 5'6" king, a short king, shall we say? What are your hopes and aspirations for it in the future?
We've got a bunch of fun things happening, and I'm trying to figure out a way that I can use it to kind of be more part of my community, because right now we have trainers that drive around and go to people's houses. So we have so many amazing clients and so many people in my personal community have started doing it. And we're trying to figure out ways that Nicole and I can actually be more involved. So we're relaunching our website and we're gonna start having like a little shop. So we're gonna actually sell the devices. We're launching EMS facials and EMS devices and teacher trainings. And I'm really excited to just be able to share so much of what I've learned, because I really think through modeling, it's forced me to really find the best workouts, really know the best form to get the exact shape of the body that I want. And I think so many people are looking for that. And I really feel like I've tried it all. And I want to be able to give that knowledge to people. So I'm
That's so
hoping
wonderful.
that that's how it unfolds. I don't know exactly what that is, but that's kind of the intention, and we'll see how it goes.
When and
try
if
it.
you're ready, we could hook you up with doing an Equinox class, because our friend is always looking for outside fitness things.
Yeah.
And like part of the pull for Equinox is like you'll bring some of your crowd, and like they'll hopefully get members.
I would love it. Well, and separately, I would just love for you guys to
I
do
wanna
it.
Oh yeah,
Try
no.
it.
You
I
know,
was
we
gonna say,
do couples, so it's a really great couples date.
We're 100% in. I was gonna say that off air, but
Such
yeah.
a cute couples date idea.
It's a
though.
really
Like, you really wanna
cute-
push each other.
That's honestly, I think we have so many different types of clients, which is really cool. Like, 'cause we don't have a specific one, but I think that like the new moms really love it, and then they usually rope in their husbands, and it's really cool. So we have a lot of these new young couples doing it as like a big chunk of our company, and it's really nice, and it's cute to see everybody like just carving out their time and finding an enjoyable place to spend time together. So
We're gonna be so fucking sore.
it's cute. It's really wholesome, and your asses are gonna be
I'm
so
excited for it.
sore.
I cannot
Let's
wait.
talk about Brad and dating.
I really want to talk about Brad and dating because that was
Please.
the next thing on my list. So you and I, it's like we're married for a reason.
And so I was like, cut me off all the time. I can just chat
No,
away.
these are the best podcasts because I would say 5% of the time it's like, okay, we're gonna have to like struggle to get an hour out of this. But the best ones are like, okay, this is great. We're probably gonna need 2 podcasts.
No, I know. That's why I was like, cut me off. I can tangent
never.
hard, guys.
You're a fiance.
I'm a
You're
fiancé.
a recent fiance. Congratulations to you and
Thank
Brad darling.
you.
It's so exciting. How did you first meet?
We got set up on a blind date.
Oh, tell.
I know.
I want
Joy loves
soup to
blind
nuts,
dates.
full story, everything.
It
to
was
nuts?
so
Soup to
nice.
nuts, yeah, it's an old saying.
Soup to nuts.
I'll teach you.
It's
it.
an American thing.
That's weird.
I actually have no idea if it's an American thing, but I know soup
I don't even
to
know what
nuts.
it really
And like,
means.
why soup to nuts? Like, what are the situations where it's like it starts with soup, ends with nuts?
Like your nuts in a soup? I'm just confused.
No, like no,
It would
no.
burn. Unless you're into it. I don't know.
Anyway,
Not
blind
judging.
date.
Blind date. This is a fun story, actually. So I was visiting my family in Colorado, and I was with my little brother, and he was like, Anna, set me up with somebody. And I was like, all right, let's try. So I took a little photo of my brother and I posted it on Instagram, and I was like, here's my little brother. Somebody should date him. He's awesome. And I got so many responses of like, I mean, I don't have anyone for your brother, but like I could do And so I was sitting with my brother and sister, and we were just kind of having fun and going through the messages, which was a very silly just moment in life. And unfortunately, there weren't great people for my little brother, but we were looking around, and I was kind of passing because it started with, I don't have anyone for your brother. And I was just kind of going through it because I was actually trying to find someone for my little brother. Like, this was a very serious mission. And my sister was like, oh my gosh, that's Lindsay's husband. And I was like, oh, you're right. That's so funny. Let me open it. And it was a guy who, I don't know the couple so well, but they were so sweet to each other, and they have a really nice baby now, and they're just like a cute couple. And I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna let anybody set me up, I might as well. And so I kind of just didn't ask a lot of questions. I was just like, if he's interested, give him my number. I trust you. I got just like a headshot with just his head, but it had like a little puppy in it too. So I was just like, all right, at least.
You're like, I'm intrigued.
Exactly. I was like, he either has a puppy or
He knows
is
the
near
puppy.
puppies. So like, he's probably not a murderer. And it was cute. We went into it with just no expectations, which was the best way to go into it, and had an amazing date. And then I asked him to like make out when he drove me home in my driveway.
Wait, time out. We're going through this too quickly. Wait.
Is this too fast? Okay.
So wait.
I was like, I don't want to hold
What
you
was-
guys
what-
up because I can
No,
get
no, no.
so deep.
What was the first time that he actually reached out?
So I basically over DM told this guy who messaged me, and I was just like, give him my number. If he wants to message me, that's amazing. And
Yeah.
then the next day, he sent me like a really nice, funny, casual, hey, are you free this Saturday? And I like, yes, I don't want to be texting for a long time. Like, just, yes, I'm free. Let's go at this time and I'll figure it out. And then it was like a date. It was a date.
What was the date?
It was, I actually, that night, I was supposed to, he asked me out on a Saturday night, and
Green flag, huge green flag.
it was like a big, I was like, oh, Saturday
Saturday
night at
night.
like 7 p.m.
Wow.
Like
Wow.
he's giving me the
That's the highlight of his
Saturday
week.
night.
That's the
exactly.
highlight.
I was like, he's serious. He's serious.
Okay.
Exactly. 7 p.m. Saturday night. I was like, oh my God, we're basically engaged. This is crazy. So we reached out, we set it up. I had plans that Saturday night. I was going to karaoke with a big group of like newer friends. And I was like, fuck, I can't be the flaky friend, but I also really want to go on this date. And so I sent out like a mass text to the group, and I was like, hey guys, I don't want to be the new flaky friend, but I have what seems like a really promising date. So if you guys would release me from karaoke, I would really like to go on it. And everyone was like, woo, you're released, go get him, yay, yay. And I was like, yay, you guys are great new friends, woo. It was like so positive and great. So I was released from karaoke, and he's like, you're welcome, I got you out of karaoke. And I was kind of like, thank you. I actually don't really love karaoke, so appreciate that. And then we showed up. I got to dinner. It was at the time Lavo had just opened. It's like a very aggressive, like Las Vegas type restaurant.
Wait, time out. Are we back in LA now, or are you still in Colorado?
We're back in LA now. He lives in LA. I live in LA. He gave me the Saturday night, 7 p.m. He suggested this restaurant, and I was like, oh my God, I'm like going on The Bachelor. Like, holy Jesus Christ, I hope I get the rose after Lavo. And we get there, and I was like, hey, is there a Brad here? When I showed up, and they're like, Brad who? And I was like, I literally don't know this man's last name, and if he's not here, I was just kind of like, oh my God, if there's not a Brad here, I'll just go and die. Like, don't worry about it. I'm so sorry. Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, no, I'll actually just go kill myself. Don't worry about it. I'll handle this for both of us. And she was like, oh, Brad Nugent, you're going to have a really good time. And I was like, ugh.
Wait, the lava hostess said this?
Yes. Worst case scenario.
Oh.
The
Wow.
lava hostess said this.
So you're thinking like Brad's here every Saturday at 7 o'clock.
Exactly. I was just like, oh God.
This slut for
Exactly. Brad has a standing reservation, 7 p.m. Lavo.
7 p.m. lava model. Just send them my way.
So that's exactly what I was thinking at that time. And I was kind of like, all right, this is going to be a guy that like serially dates like 20-year-old models. I've probably like aged out, whatever. I show up and this adorable man is sitting at the end of the bar on his phone watching basketball, but in a really nice outfit.
I'm so happy.
Just
Like right
in
now,
love right
now.
the story started with how they met, and I'm like, this is awesome because this is how we did it. And then
Now he's
Brad
watching basketball?
watching basketball. This is great, but continue. Sorry.
It really was so wholesome. I walked in, he's watching basketball, and he was totally startled that I got there on time, but I'm like an East Coast person. I am on time. Like if you say a time, I'm there 10 minutes early. So he was fully like settled up at the bar thinking he was going to like have at least 45 more minutes.
Finish the game.
Exactly. Like he was not expecting it, to the point where I was like, do you need a minute? Like, do you want me to, did you not expect me to be here? Like so did you say 7 thinking I'd get here at 7:30 and I totally fucked up your viewing party? But I got in and I was kind of immediately overwhelmed because I was like, wow, he's very good looking, really clean, really put together, like super comfortable at a bar, just like has his shit together. And I put my bag down, I ran to the bathroom and I just kind of peed, gave myself a quick, just like, you fucking got this, girl.
And
let's go.
at this point, you're like, okay, this is good. This could be serious.
Yes, this could be serious. And I'd called my mom before. She had given me a pep talk, and it's like the best advice I've ever gotten. It seriously changed my life. So dating wise, best advice.
What is it?
Yeah, share it, please.
Yeah, I was like, of course I'm gonna share it, you guys. So I was getting ready and I was just like, oh my God, I don't know. What do you think he's into? What do you think he likes? What should I wear? And she was like, it just doesn't matter what he likes and what he's into, because you're the prize. And if you just show up as your best, most authentic self, that's all you can do. And the right guy is going to be into you. So it's not going to be about just tricking this guy into liking you. It's your person's gonna like you. And I was just like,
Your mom is so wise.
wait, oh my God, that's the most duh. So it's like, it's not trying to trick somebody into liking you or forcing that, like just manipulating them to try to fall in love. Because it's like, who cares if you just get a random person to fall in love with you? Is that actually the right person? Is that actually what you want? So it just shifted the whole way I dated. I was gonna show up as my most authentic, best self. And if he liked that, amazing. And if he didn't, he's not for me, which is okay, because if everybody was for everybody, it would be fucking weird. And we all would just be like banging each other. It'd be
Massive
awful.
orgy.
Exactly.
That was
It'd be exhausting.
Amazing. And you nailed on so many things that not only like we preach, but the app stands for. Like we always tell people, be authentic.
Yeah.
Because if you, like you said, if you want to get someone to fall in love with you, you could easily do that. But then by the 5th date, it's like, well, you're not the person I fell in love with on date 1. Who's this new person?
There's no longevity in it. It's almost like an instant gratification thing of just being like, how many people can I make fall in love with me? Or how many people can I connect with? And you get like addicted to those initial stages of connection, rather than understanding like the long-term play.
Which is like fueling an ego versus actually what's
100%.
finding what's best. Like it feels great to have people fall in love with you. That's amazing. It's like
does.
such a great
But
feeling.
it's your ego. That's not you as a
Exactly.
human being. When you find that one person, which you now
Did you Google
beautifully
him
have.
before you met?
No, I didn't have his last name. I'm not
That's
just going to Google
amazing.
Brad.
That is so amazing.
I also just am not a Googler. Even if I have the information, I think it's so creepy to show up and know everything about everybody.
I'm the same.
Even if I have their Instagram, I don't really look. Like I want to look to make sure that you're not like creepy and I don't know.
He had a puppy dog, so it was fine.
He had a little dog, so that was essentially a last name.
No, yeah, it's perfect because we did the same thing. Like we matched and we matched on Hinge. That night we went out
Yeah.
And we knew nothing about each other.
You had to ask authentic questions and then
Yeah.
actually have authentic reactions, which means authentic connections. So it's
Amazing.
just
Wait, I want you to ask Anna the question of the three. So we have like, we're a dating app, obviously. We have three key.
No.
Really, it's crazy. We have three key differentiators, and I want him to say it, and I want you to choose your favorite one.
okay. Yeah.
Okay, so the first one is that the first point of contact is actually sending someone a date. So like instead of liking somebody like Tinder, Bumble, or Hinge, you pick a drink, time, and place and send the date invite to somebody. So it's like there's a plan already built in.
Okay.
So that's one. Two is you can only have one match per day because we push people to go on that real date.
Oh wow.
So it's like you should only focus on one person per day. And then the third thing is once you guys have that confirmed date, you could only chat 24 hours before the date. So it like gives people a little bit of time to like feel each other out, but it saves all those natural questions for the first date.
You're not spending 2 weeks like just being like, which is so weird to me because I know girls that actually, like I've had guys that be like, I'm like, you're being lame. Why are you not just asking her out? And he's like, some girls just want to chat on the apps. And I'm like, I actually can't think of anything worse that I would rather do than chat on an app with a stranger who I don't even want to get a coffee with. Like, oh my God, I'd rather watch paint dry on a wall.
So you would go with
I'm like, so my favorite, definitely the first two. I'm just like, give me a time and a place, I'll be there. We can usually suss out in the first 2 minutes if it's worth it or not, which that's kind of where I'm like, with Brad, it was like, even if we're not gonna fall in love and it's gonna be perfect, at least we're gonna have a good dinner. Like that, it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm like, let's just get out of the house, let's go meet. I don't know. So that I definitely love. But wait, say the second. Oh, that's what I really loved. Because to me, I've never gone on a dating app because the whole concept of just like swiping through actual individual humans makes me just want to like, makes me hate myself. Like I'm like, who the fuck am I to just be like loser, 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 loser? It makes me feel awful versus if you're actually just like for real looking for that one connection. It's such a different mindset. Because
we always preach like if you want to actually connect with somebody, then use our app. If you are trying to waste time and just have fun, probably use the other apps.
Which like,
but yeah, like I always
get
tell
a
people, I'm
hobby.
like,
Oh my God, don't waste time on
So
dating.
yeah.
Like, whoa.
yeah, I
But as
think
you said, but it's like it becomes a numbers game when in reality, like they're people, they're human beings, and
Like they're putting out their best. I've never been on an app because like, what the fuck montage am I gonna make of myself that somebody's gonna judge me on and then just be like, loser?
but
Like,
also like you said, it's like who are you to say no to them? Like
of course, it's awful.
Like-
and as somebody who doesn't just date guys because they're hot, like I kind of joked with my exes before. I've just been like, yeah, I don't date hot guys, and I'm like, oops, sorry, my bad. But if you're not dating for looks, it's hard on dating apps because it's like you get this weird headshot and then like them attempting to answer like a witty thing about like, I don't know, hobbies or something. I literally only look at my friends. Like I don't even know what they ask, but I just know it's not something that you can actually get a judgment on. So I don't know.
this is awesome.
he's literally like elated.
No, because it's just it helps that
Well,
know
I think
in a superficial world, if it works for people like you two, then it should work for everybody.
I think, but
you know,
like,
and
it
what I'm
vindicates
saying
you.
is like it's like you guys could literally meet anybody you want, but the fact that you just want to be present with somebody and get to know them for who they are, not swipe for someone who looks the best or Google somebody who makes the most money. It's like you guys just want to connect with people, and you have the option to connect with anybody, and it just makes it where it doesn't matter what you look like. Just go meet somebody in person, and your energy and the time you spend with them will tell if it's going to last or not. And that's really it.
Anna's point. There's someone for everybody. You know what I mean? You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but just get out on the date and figure it out.
My friend gave me some perspective, though, that was interesting. In our jobs, or now that you're retired, not your job anymore, but in your previous job, we are exposed to so many people all the time. So even if I don't feel like I have a ton of friends, I really do have a way bigger network than I would think. So I'm just like meeting people more easily. So I do think it's a bit of a luxury that like we don't really have to go on apps to kind of like connect and get people out. Like my friend was saying at her office job, it's like she has the same 5 people. If she wants to motivate, it's like, where do I go? Where do I meet people? So it's like, I feel like a lot of people are craving that real connection. And we have so many fake connections all of the time. You actually really just crave that, and you can easily tell the not authentic connections because we have that all day.
So easy to be able to pick out the people that you're not going to get along with. Like I feel like when you step onto set, where you're just like, I'm not going to get along with that person.
Exactly. I'm just like,
automatically
you.
within 2 minutes. It's just so easy to be able to do it. We have to read people so heavily, and also to your point of like, we don't think about physical attractiveness that much, perhaps as like the quote unquote general public, because we're exposed to that every day. We're exposed to beautiful human beings, genetically freakish human beings who are professionally good looking.
And a lot of the times they suck.
They're shit. And that's why we're just like, that holds no bearing on the human being that you are. So I'm not going to focus and base my, like, you're gorgeous, darling. That's just a bonus, right?
Right.
But it's who you actually are. So we seek out the person underneath rather than
and I feel like Anna watched a lot of our podcasts because she's saying like the perfect things.
Well, that's just who she is. All right, so we're going to move on to, because we've almost gone for an hour, which is crazy.
Yeah, we got like 6 minutes.
Okay, we're going to go through this quickly. I'm going to do dating deal breakers. I'm going to ask you questions and you tell me if that's a deal breaker for you or not, right?
Yeah.
If your man just starts randomly talking in Elvis voice and refuses to stop, a la Austin Butler.
No.
Done.
Well, like, it depends. Like, on a first date, or are we, like, really fucked up? It's late at night, and, like, I love you, and this is a safe space.
He does that all throughout his, like,
oh,
every day,
God,
all day,
no.
every day.
No. Quiet on set. No, we're just...
Okay, a partner who really, really didn't get along with your family.
Absolutely not.
I knew that was going to be a no, but I had to ask.
Absolutely. That was, like, I made a manifestation lift, and there was, like, 10 absolute non-starters, and that was, like, the number one.
I knew it would be. A partner's public displays of negative emotions or disagreements, a la like the Kim and Kanye drama.
Oh, no. I'm like, I don't know. I guess everything's a deal breaker for me, which is why it's like when you meet somebody, my first thing I say is congratulations on meeting somebody that doesn't make you want to barf, because it's just, I don't know. Most things are just like, ooh.
I mean, truth be told, I did pick a lot of things. What?
There's no public drama on Brad because I tried to look up Brad and I couldn't find
That's
anything.
the other thing. Once I got his last name, he's ungoogleable.
I found, this may not be true because I had to like do a lot of research. So Brad might have, if this is true, went to like the most prestigious high school in America where like many presidents went, where Mark Zuckerberg went. Is that true?
That's my man. That is funny. You found literally the only picture of him on the internet.
No picture.
It's like, oh, really? Because the only picture
like,
I found was him in like prep school, just like the goofiest face. I was like, that's my guy.
I love it.
That's my guy.
Started
children
with
look like.
some like equity thing, and I was like, okay, I think this is him. And it said his college, which was an Ivy League school. And then I was like, okay. And then I went further, and I was like, wow, he went to this high school. I didn't know what it was. I was like, this is some high school.
He's educated, man. Let me tell you. He's smart. He makes really good choices.
Case in point. All right, so in a hypothetical world, if you and Brad went on a short break, very hypothetical, Brad, I promise, and he slept with somebody else, a la like the Ross and Rachel of Friends.
Oh, fuck.
What would you do? Would that be a deal breaker?
I honestly, this keeps me up at night. I don't know. Were they on a break? Were they not on a break? Fuck. I think that if you're still keeping that emotional connection and it feels like you're lying, that's not cool. If it's actually understood and you're not really in each other's lives, like I'm not big for kind of keeping a connection with somebody that's emotional and then also like banging people. I just kind of think it's like weird. And I'm like, in my mind, it's just like immature. It's like, I don't know. You could just have, I don't know. It just feels like if you really put a high value on the relationship, it feels like a pretty dumb thing to do in a really quick break. That's like, how badly did you want to fuck that person to potentially mess this up? But I think it has to be in context too. Because if we really aren't talking and it's, totally fair game, we're exploring, okay. But if there's any lying or no trust, that's where it's different.
Communication is key.
That
was what I got out of that.
I like that answer.
Thank you. Way to boil it down. I have a lot of words.
No, I love it. When you're talking right now, in my head, I'm like, this is such a good clip. I cannot wait for it to be clipped.
Oh, yay. I'm happy I'm giving you the clips, guys.
Yeah, no, baby. All right, so would a relationship under constant public scrutiny, kind of like Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, be a deal breaker for you?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to imagine because I've just never really I've always dated very private people, so I can't, and I'm pretty private when it comes to my dating life, so it's hard to imagine, but I don't know. I think that I don't really go online that much, so I don't even really know if I'd know, but that's probably not. I probably wouldn't like it.
No, I wouldn't like it.
I don't think I'd like it, but it's hard to imagine because it's so far from I don't know.
So far detached from reality, and you could never imagine having every move scrutinized, but I don't think I would like. I would say it was a deal breaker for me, but I just wouldn't like it.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't like if Brad went out and was like sneezing and somebody was like, Anna makes Brad cry in the parking lot. Rumors of breakup. Because naturally it's just like, well, wait, were you crying? I mean, I always think about that because no matter how dumb a tabloid is, everybody's human. So it's just like, well, wait, were you thinking about breaking up with me? I don't know. I mean, I thought you were sneezing, but does it imply that actually you were cheating on me with that girl in the parking lot? Fuck, like, I don't know.
Outside
it would just be
perspective and scrutiny. Like, it would just be really difficult.
You'd have to be like very mentally strong.
1000%. Or used to it, or like have been in that industry for like 20 years to understand. Like,
yeah, or come with your own public scrutiny. Like, it'd be hard to just like go into public
into
scrutiny.
All right, we're going to play Fuck, Marry, Kill.
Yay!
You're going to hate this first one, and I'm so sorry that I have to do this to you, but I had to.
Okay.
Fuck, marry, kill Lulu's, GGC bikinis, or Calorie. Sorry.
Okay, let's see. Fuck, marry,
Murder.
kill.
I knew this was gonna be hard for you.
This is really a challenge. Like, I'm trying to like think, because you also chose really good clients.
I know,
like
I
for
chose-
other people, this would be really easy, but they've all given me like very unique, awesome experiences.
I purposely did that. I'm so sorry.
It can be in like an erotic kill where it's like you love them so much you kill them.
Like cute aggression?
Yeah, exactly. Like baby murder. Like, "Ugh, I'm just gonna squeeze you. I would marry Lulu's. It would be inappropriate of me not to. They've been my like longest standing relationship. I literally call my house the Lulu's house. So I will always marry Lulu's. I would fuck GGC because they got me that dope place in Bora Bora. And if you're going to be fucking anywhere, you want to be doing it in Tahiti overlooking the ocean.
Damn straight.
And I'd also fuck Callie Ray because like they let me get stoned on set. So I don't know, like I'm just banging all my clients.
Perfect answer ever. All right, climates. Snow, ocean, desert.
Ocean.
Yeah, fuck, marry, kill.
Oh,
Ocean.
fuck the ocean, marry the ocean, kill. I just don't like being cold. So probably that. Like
Which
if
is
I'm
so surprising considering the fact
Colorado.
that you go down in a bikini.
Yeah, that was a really great summer ski day, and I was doing it for the gram, and I thus feel no temperatures. But
All right, fuck, marry, kill, beer, wine, tequila.
marry, wine, fuck, tequila. What's the other bad one? Kill. Oh, God,
Kill.
it's so aggressive. Like murder. I would murder beer.
Tacos, pizza, or sushi.
Marry, pizza, fuck, tacos. It would just be like so wet and juicy. And I'd have to kill sushi, which is hard to do, but I just like,
Out of the
you're
three.
asking these hard choices. Hard questions.
They were meant to be hard. Honestly, but your answers were incredible. All right, so we're going to do a little round of rapid fire, and then we're going to be pretty much done.
Oh my God, so fun.
Okay, so can you truly just be friends with someone you find attractive?
Yes.
Love that. Can you really just be friends with an ex?
Yes, but for me, not like hanging out all the time. But I'm
still
friends with like all of my exes, and I
cordial.
genuinely support them, love them, think they're amazing, would be so happy for them to find love and joy, and would be happy if my friends dated them in a weird way. But like, so yes.
If you weren't in your current profession, what would you be doing?
What is my profession now? I'm like, do I have a job?
You're multiple professions.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, what am I doing? I love kids so much, and it's so crazy to think, but like in my other crazy world, I'm just a teacher, but only like the really fun parts of teaching where it's just like love and joy, none of the awful parts where they're just paying for all of their own school supplies and like not getting paid at all, and it's horrendous. So it's hard to say, but I don't know.
It was very well said, though.
Yeah, I don't.
One quirky habit your partner has that you've learned to love.
Brad is just the most OCD clean person, which I just feel so bad about because I am the most OCD messy person. Like if there's a mess to be made, I'm gonna make it. But I didn't have to learn to love it. I just love it because he just kind of like follows me around the house and like picks up. And I always ask him just like, do you hate me? But he's just like, no, I just like it needs to get done. So I'm just gonna like, I don't know. So I'm trying to get better, but I'm like, wait, Brad, don't listen to this. I hate that you know that I'm like,
That's her for
oh
me.
yeah, Brad just cleans up all around the house. It's so great.
It's what he enjoys. He wants like.
But it's
his life to be
definitely
that
like
way.
that man has a bottle of Windex in his hand 90% of the day. So it's just
I'm such a mess, and
Such
she's
a
just
mess.
always scrubbing clocks. I'm like,
I joke though, I'm like, did you choose me as your challenge? Like, do you clean people find the messiest people to just be like, I can make this clean?
I always say that you fall in love with your opposite. You really do. And like that old adage of like opposites attract, it's so true because it infuriates me sometimes. But it's also, it feels like it's like a missing puzzle piece. It like fits it together. Like he's all this and I'm all this and we fit together and it just works.
Yeah.
Can't understand why. But like sometimes I'm like, rinse your fucking plate.
No, totally. And I appreciate, like, I don't know about you, but I love the feedback. Like when Brad's like, Anna, could you stop rubbing your hands and fingers all over the glass? I don't know why it's happening, how it's happening, but could you just stop doing it? And I'm just like, thank you so much for bringing that to my attention because I had no idea I was fingering the glass. And now I'm going to try not to do that because I'm mortified.
I this might be TMI, but
never.
You know, as a man, when you're done going to the bathroom, you have to shake it.
Yeah.
Right?
What were you doing? Like, where are you shaking?
You shake. And I never realized because no one really ever cleaned up after me. She's like, do you know that there's like piss spots and random spots all over the bathroom? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, when you shake your junk, you get piss everywhere. And I'm like,
and you notice the driplets.
Because I clean it.
I just can't I would never notice a driplet. That's like the true crazy thing is that like you'll see the driplet, which is what I've had to explain to Brad is like you're seeing a different reality than what I'm seeing.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally different world.
Like I don't know how to tell you.
All right, 2 more questions. Ideal first date location?
I love a great restaurant with a fun bar, really good cocktails, and the type of place where it's like loud enough that it's not awkward when there's downtime, but quiet enough that you can actually hear each other talk and you're not screaming. So I don't know.
Any spot in particular? Like what's your favorite date spot in LA?
What's my favorite date spot in LA? Brad and I go to the Chiconi's bar a lot, which is,
nice.
It's really nice. And I just think it's like a really fun, we've just had like long dates there that feel really fun and nice, and it's like it feels super fancy, but you can also just sit at the bar and order like a martini and an appetizer and still feel like you're having this like crazy night, and it gives you a reason to dress up, but it's also still cozy. So I don't know.
I love that.
Nice.
Do you want to ask the final question, the one that you stole from Jay Shetty, kind of like the one rule in the world?
Yeah, but do you have one more question, or was
that's it.
my question's the last
Your
question?
question's the last question.
Okay.
The closer.
Yeah, so we're bringing this back. If you
Guys,
could
I'm
have,
sorry. Is that my phone? I'm so sorry. Don't mean to just somebody can like get in there and turn it off. I'm so sorry. I never get text ever in my life except for apparently right now. Sorry. Sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. Like, fuck. I'm sorry.
if you could have one law in the world that everybody
One law
that everybody had to follow, and it could be as crazy as you want it to be, what law would it be and why? And it could be crazy. It could be like, it could be serious or it could be like funny.
Law in the world. What if the law was you have to actually make the choice that you think would be best for not just yourself, but for as many people? And it like that was the law on making decisions. And so then every single decision was made with the intention of it being the best for the most amount of people. That would maybe be cool.
That was
really
one of the
love
best
that.
answers that we've ever gotten. Wow.
Cool. All right.
Amazing.
So undriven by ego.
That was amazing.
And no homework.
Anna, babe, this has been, we honestly could have talked for like 2 or 3 more hours. This is so
Yes.
incredible. But can you let our listeners know where to find you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram, Anna Herrin, or follow my company, the Studio EMS, and just on the streets of LA.
Don't go up to her though.
Just no, I love when people do. I will say it's been the most fun getting to like meet people around. Like, just like I follow this. I'm like, cool. You follow me? First of all, that's crazy, and I'm so glad you said something. And I've actually met just like the coolest girls around. Yeah, so. Please do come up and say hi. Oh, if I like don't go up to her, I was like, no,
I did. No, I did. For
Got it. I was like, oh my god,
don't just randomly go up to
please
her.
come up to me, like bum rush me, please.
And thank you everybody for listening. Subscribe to one of our past podcasts, and thank you.
I hope you guys all meet people that you really love and like get fiancés of your own.
Thank you, Anna.
Thanks, guys.